Welcome to my presentation on the Intel G6950 CPU and some of the technologies contained within. This presentation should explain how the CPU is both environmentally sustainable and helps Intel create more sustainable CPUs. The 32nm process refers to the semiconductor device fabrication. This is the process used to create integrated circuits on silicon chips. Why is this relevant to environmental sustainability? Well, as the process has become smaller over time, 65nm in 2006, 45nm in 2008, the power consumption of this chip has decreased. Whilst this may not be a huge amount each time, when you consider the amount of chips being used, many of which will not have that much downtime, the power consumption looks a lot larger. Because of this, the advantages in the fabrication process are a great way of sustaining the environment. This could be through the use of fewer fossil fuels being burned to create the power needed, which in turn reduces any environmental hazards, such as greenhouse gases. The way in which this fabrication process can help sustain the technology is that it can pave the way for more advanced processors, with 22nm processors looking to be released sometime in the second half of this year. The 32nm process has allowed Intel to develop and refine the fabrication, thus creating more efficient CPUs. The Intel speed step technology is one that can, on the fly, adjust the core clock of a CPU dependent on the workload. This is done through software, but the user doesn't control this. With the CPU running at its standard frequency all the time, the chip will obviously be running at its full potential, or there is a drawback. There will be a higher power consumption, and therefore more heat generated, which will need to be dissipated. The technology can be used at times when the computer is sat idle, when there is no need to be running at the full clock speed. Intel Speed Step is able to lower the CPU multiplier and the frequency of the chip in order to save power and reduce heat emitted. Not only can it lower the previous, but it can also drop the voltage supplied to the chip. This is a major cause of heat. More heat, more voltage. By lowering it, heat output as well can be reduced. To conclude, this is how I believe the Intel G6950 CPU helps sustainability, reduce harmful effects to the environment. Thanks for watching.